Few days before, all of us might have gone through one news. There was a conflict between Paytm and Google. Now, what was that? Actually, Paytm has brought a cashback policy for his customers, to which the objection was raised by Google. They said it was against their ethics of business. So, in turn, what Google has done, Google has removed the Paytm app from Paytm from their app for some time. Now, there was a disagreement on in between Google and Paytm, and this disagreement could have taken the shape of a complex business dispute and could have been brought before the court. But fortunately, this was settled when Vijay Shekhar, the owner of Paytm, came forward and he just gave the explanation that there was nothing to be against the ethics of this contract or against the business ethics. It was just a policy of Paytm, an incentive policy to be given to the customers. So that was resolved and matter was resolved. So guys, even though this didn't took the shape of exact business dispute, but since we are talking about the disagreement between two companies or two businesses, so I just thought that I shall share this examples with you all, even though you might also be knowing it because it's just a recent news and we all must have gone through it. So guys, if there is the thing is that if there is a business dispute, there is a breach of contract, and whoever is the party who just want to file a suit for a business suit to establish their claim, a valid claim, you need to prove a few things. As I have told you that even a few of you might, who are just enrolled with this course, you might think, you might wish to start your own business or setup, and in future, in case you just feel to file a business suit, you must keep few things in your mind. Even though all of us, or that cannot be done without the help of a legal expert, that is good if apart from your legal expert, you also are having few basic ideas regarding that. So guys, what happens if you want to file a business suit? You have to establish few of the facts, like the first one, that the agreement was written one. Even though I have told you that a verbal agreement is also valid, but it's preferred that you must go for a written document, so that there is no uncertainty, no question of uncertainty. And for that, obviously, if it's a written agreement, you have to prove something more. What's that? Needless to mention that you have complied with the requirements of the valid agreement, valid contract, that is offer, accept, and your consideration, lawful object, and all the things, the long list of do's and don'ts what I have mentioned in module 3. Those all things you have to mention here, that you complied with all of that, and free consent and everything. Now, the second thing what you have to establish in additional to this is that, of course, look, I have done my part of performance very well. I have performed my obligation of the contract accordingly. Now, you are mentioning two things, that your contract is valid, you have complied with all the requirements, and the second thing, you're saying that you have performed your part of obligation. Then what else you need to prove? You have to also tell to the court that the defendant, the other party, has not performed their part of contract, and so they have committed the breach of contract. And how they have committed the breach of contract, that also you have to, your attorney is going to prove it. Okay. And finally, you have also to tell one more very relevant point, very crucial point, that you have given the notice of what? look, if there is a disagreement between you and the other party, and other party you think that he has committed the breach of contract, so you must, before filing the suit, before coming to the court, you must give a notice to the other party, your business partner or whoever the case person is, that look, you have committed a breach of contract to which I am annoyed and I may file a business suit. So you cannot jump directly to the court, directly into a business suit, unless and until you provide a notice of that to the, I'm not talking about the court's notice, guys. Okay, don't think of court. That is the court authority to the right authority is the court to give such summons or notice. I'm not talking about the summons over here. I'm talking about the notice given by your side, the aggrieved company, to the company who has committed the breach. So all these things you need to establish to make your claim strong. Okay, now suppose the business suit is filed, and there is, I have told you, one circumstances that you are the aggrieved party. When you are into business, sometimes you are aggrieved, and sometimes there are the chances when somebody else, the other party, is aggrieved from your side. It's not always that you will be aggrieved. Obviously, there are chances. We are the human beings and we can make mistakes. So obviously, the other party can also have some grievances against me, and so they can file a business suit. So imagine of this situation, and what if somebody else files a business suit against me? Then what are the defenses available to me? Obviously, I'm not the right person to take all the defenses I am having, or obviously any company, whether big or small, they do have a legal experts, legal advisor for them. And why? This is the role, what the legal advisor, why the companies have a legal advisor. Obviously, to protect the business disputes, and of course to defend them from any business disputes. Legal advisors or the business attorneys have a very active role in a company. Now what happens? They don't only protect you against the business disputes, but they also draft your agreements or documents very effectively and intelligently, and also they negotiate the agreements with other companies to be concluded as per your terms, because they are your legal solicitors. So obviously they would like that the agreements are concluded as per your term. So guys, your business experts are the right persons. Your attorneys, business attorneys, are the right person to deal with any kind of dispute if it's filed against you. So what defenses they are likely to take for such business dispute? The very first one, that the other party, the plaintiff has intentionally misrepresented or has not disclosed a material fact, a vital information. They have not shared a vital information with us in the contract. So we have just not committed, we are withdrawing from the performance of that very contract. So you can have a claim that they have just not shared a vital, they just omitted to share some vital information with us. So it's the result of that only. Moreover, you can also have a defense of consent not free. What is that? Of course, we have studied in section 14 in the third module that if the consent are not free, then it is enough to get to seek a contract voidable before court of law. So you can have a claim that you can tell before the court in your defense that look, the consent, the agreement, the consent to this agreement with that particular company was induced due to some sort of coercion or undue influence. Okay. So this is also valid defense. And you can also, in additionally, your expert can say at times that this was a bilateral mistake. Look, the thing for bilateral mistake, Am I out of scene here? No. We studied, while we were discussing about mistake of fact and mistake of law, we studied in mistake of fact that it can be of two kinds, unilateral mistake and bilateral mistake. Guys, in unilateral mistake, there was no effect on the validity of the agreement, but so you don't take the defense of unilateral mistake. Rather, it was a bilateral mistake which would bring your drag your contract to be void and so to be discharged of your obligation. So you can say that this is a bilateral mistake. Both the parties are at mistake. So we both shall be discharged of our obligation. So this was all you can take as defenses, valid defenses, to avoid business to avoid what? To avoid your liability in the business dispute. And now finally comes, okay, somebody filed a business suit, you took a defense, or you filed a business suit, and somebody else took a defense. Now it's better to have a solution. So one thing is said, prevention is better than cure. So it's better to do something which shall avoid your business dispute. It's not like that. Obviously, when you are in business, when somebody is business, they are likely to be disagreements and grievances, but the thing is, it can be it can be the number of such business dispute can be reduced, the number can be brought to less by doing certain, by taking certain steps. So what can be those steps? In fact, what are those steps which are taken by the company? Many of the company have brought their businesses practice as per accordingly to avoid the business disputes. What's that? The very first thing is your business standard form contracts. What are the standard form contracts? These are the standard form already written forms with a company which is common for everyone. They have the printed performer. Like for that, there are chances are less that the others will have grievances. This is done so as not to deal or negotiate individually with each and every party. So while the companies are using standard form contracts, the chances are dim of having any business grievances as according to the terms which is mentioned in the standard form of contracts. So guys, moreover, the second thing is, apart from having standard form contracts, the company shall get their policies drafted by the legal experts. Why by the legal experts? Obviously, if you or a director of the company who is not a legal expert drafts the agreement, drafts the policies of the company, so you might not be very much familiar with the laws of employment which is applicable to those policies in the current date, or in fact you cannot even meet the desire of the parties on that particular issue. So it's better to get it drafted by the legal experts. So guys, this is what can be done to avoid the business disputes. So I think this is a little bit of, at least we have covered regarding contracts in the business world. This was all about this module. And guys, what we have seen here right now, we begin with the statement of Richard A. Posner, and he gave, obviously we talked about the benefits, economic benefits of the Contract Act, and we talked about the benefits of the contract also. Even though the benefits of contract in the business world, the commercial contract, cannot be, counted on fingers, there are enormous benefits of this elements in the business world. No business, whether be it multinational or even a partnership firm or even a single individual small startup, no one can run their business, run their company without being away from the contract, whether be it a pharma company or an IT company or a hospital industry or anything, whatever it may be, even education industry, they have to enter into the contracts, not only one contract but a series of contract in order to run their business. So guys, this was all about this module. Till then, goodbye.